William Yates. All right, I've got your work up here. I hope everyone's doing well. I thought there was a question in here. I thought I read this through this once. I got my I used a crop from the original mat. Exactly. I resets the mass image with one banner ad. Excellent. I also changed the color of the text to fit better with the new ad. Honestly, I had no idea how to make a GIF, so I followed the videos, and I think it turned out well. Yeah, of course, absolutely. That's why the videos are there for sure. Yeah. Um, all right, so let's go ahead and jump right over to the ad, and we've got the ad right here. All right, the great news is you're showing outstanding proficiency here. In terms of layout, I do have some suggestions that'll make this a much more harmonious piece. Uh, the main thing right now is this big purple box in the middle blinking on and off. And what that's doing is that's creating such visual attention to that portion of the banner ad that the viewer is not even likely to look at the rest of this material. Because when you think about it, a viewer, you've got about 2 seconds to hook a viewer. In a web banner, it's even less time. So the viewer is going to know whether they're going to read this ad or not pretty much the first second they look at it. And right now, that first second is going to be consumed with ready to grab your fins book now. Then if they decide not to stay in the ad, they're gonna look away. So they're not going to get any of the pertinent information. Another problem with this technique right here is that in terms of your portfolio and how you're representing yourself professionally as a designer, this piece has a kind of what we call an amateur mistake, and I don't mean to sound discouraging, but design students and young, inexperienced designers have a tendency to want to place things in boxes, not understanding that placing things in boxes actually creates a degree of separation as opposed to creating harmony, right? So we want to get rid of that box altogether. Let me describe how we can do that. Ready to grab your fins, book now. That's not a call to action. The call to action really is the promotional offer. So free snorkel with a 5-night stay. That's the promotional offer, and that's what you want to animate. So what we can do is this. I think the text is really large. I think all of your elements are too large with the exception of the girl. I think she's placed beautifully. Logo is too big and the text is really large. So I would reduce the size of the headline, all right? And then the headline, the relationship of the subhead to the headline, again, is too small. So reduce the headline by 2 points or so and keep the subhead the same size. I want to transpose the text. What I want to do is I want to use this for your animation, the free snorkel trip with 5 nights stay. But we'll have to create a subhead, right? And have to have it consistent. So here's what we'll do. Coral Reef Snorkel Adventure, and then the subhead in this text right here would be available only at Amethyst Bay, okay? Then you come down here and you say free snorkel trip with 5-night stay. That's it. And then you animate that, but don't put it in a box, okay? Just keep that animation. So here's your headline subhead right here. Animation would be right here. And just slow that animation down a little bit and make sure it doesn't disappear completely. Let's do this. Start with about 20% opacity, all right? Then increase it to 100% and then pull it back to 20. Slower, much slower than this. Not much slower, but somewhat slower than this. So your timing is something like this. It starts at 20, goes to 100, comes back to 20, and then repeat that loop, okay? And then what we can do is reduce this logo, which is too large. Watch my cursor, something like this on the logo, okay? And then you don't have to include all of this information. The only thing you have to include here, and again, I would keep it in alignment. I would just say located in beautiful St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. You don't have to include the URL because viewers know if they click on the web banner, it's going to take them to the site anyway, right? So that's a little redundant. But other than that, I think you're going to have a heck of a good campaign here. I mean, I'm excited here. I think this is fantastic work. So let's go ahead and address those changes. And if you want to resubmit here, I'd love to make a final comment before your final submission. Either way, I'd like to comment on this before your final submission, which is coming up next week. So if you want to run something by me between now and then, have at it. You can just post right to this forum, and I'll see it again. Even after Sunday, I'll still see it. So, all right, fantastic. I think you're doing real. Where'd you go, William? Oh, there you are. Okay. I think you're doing fantastic stuff here. So be excited. I am. Excellent. So at this point, William, the most important thing you can do at this point is let me know if you have any questions. Okay, I'm a click away, and I'm really good about getting right back to students. So no concerns. You're not going to be waiting for me. All right, William. Thank you very much. Of course, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thanks, man.